the topic everybody's been talking about is Kirk Cousins, and my case is what I believe is we need to re-sign Kirk Cousins next year. Draft a rookie. We need to draft a rookie and have him sit behind Kirk Cousins. And I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
So there's been
Hold
in
on.
50.
Before we start, this is a touchy subject. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna stay quiet. I'm gonna let you get all your points out. I'm gonna drink my eggnog, and I'm gonna enjoy the conversation. So I'm gonna let you do
All
your
right,
thing. All right, go ahead, do
all
your
right.
thing, big
And
dog.
make
Do
sure
your
you're
thing.
tuned in, though. Make sure you're tuned
oh,
in.
I'm tuned in. Trust me.
There's been no rookie quarterback
Okay.
to ever win the Super Bowl. None.
Okay.
Zero. Okay.
Okay.
And year two, there's only been four, and
Hmm.
it was Kurt Warner, Roethlisberger, Russell Wilson, and there's another name I'm missing.
So
There's
you
only
saying
been.
so we need to sign up for 2 years then?
Hear me out. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Hear me out. One of the biggest reasons why I say we need to re-sign Kirk Cousins, because I don't think there is a quarterback right now,
Hmm.
unless you're going to grab Joe Burrow or some of these top guys,
Okay.
to help the Vikings win right now.
And
And if we were to somehow grab Brian Flores, I think it even shores up even more of a you need to re-sign Kirk Cousins for 2 years,
hmm.
because the window period, man, like it's
Hmm.
all based on a window period.
Okay.
And if you don't take advantage of that window period, like, you might not see it again. You literally
Okay.
might not see it again.
Okay. So it's a
And
window period. He
you
gives us
you
the best chance to win in
yeah
the window period. Okay.
yeah, you
Okay.
go back and look when the Niners had Kaepernick that year, right?
Okay. Okay.
Right? What they do the following year?
They went to the Super
Not
Bowl.
much. No,
Oh,
no, not
okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
not
Okay.
much. So you got to take advantage of the window period. Talking about Kirk Cousins, right?
Hmm.
Primetime Kirk, Captain
Um,
Kirk,
Captain
Kirk
Kirk.
Shiesty, right?
Kirko change.
Kirko changed.
Yes,
He's the
sir.
guy. And
Okay.
I would argue that last year was one of the most exciting seasons as a Viking. It was
Right.
almost like, 4 to 5 or more Minneapolis Miracles back to back to back. I mean, it was just as far as emotion wise,
I
as
agree.
I watched the game, it
Okay.
was just so much emotion in every game. We were on the phone after every game talking about it. I mean, we
True.
were hyped.
That's true.
We were hyped.
Yeah.
Um, and so I think it all goes back to Kirk Cousins coming in the league. He was basically battling it out with RG3. RG3 got hurt,
Right.
right? You got Sean McVay in there, and in comes Kirk Cousins, takes over the Redskins team
Okay.
in 2015.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
2015, let me just start by saying this. Kirk Cousins' passer rating is top 10 all time.
Oh.
Okay?
Okay.
And so for the passer rating, you have to add the completions, the attempts, the yards, the interceptions, and the touchdowns. Okay.
Okay.
All that together, you're going to get your passer rating. Kirk Cousins is top 10 all time.
Top 10. Okay.
Top 10.
Okay.
So we got 2015, Kirk Cousins, 101.6 passer rating. First year as a starter in Washington
Mm.
on a bum Redskins team. Okay. He's
Mm.
top 5. That passer rating was top 5 in
Okay.
2015. Okay.
Okay.
2016, 97.2. He was top 3 in yards that year. And what that was when Breeze had over 5,000 yards that year.
Right.
Your boy Matt Ryan,
Right.
and then Kirk Cousins, 2016 with the Redskins.
I have a question.
Yep, go ahead.
That was when he was with Sean McVay and Kevin
Yep.
O'Connell, right?
Right,
So
right.
Sean
Yep.
McVay won a Super Bowl. Kevin O'Connell was the offensive coordinator. Like these are some of the best masterminds ever,
Right.
right? Okay.
Yep.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
And then 2017,
Okay.
top 10 yards and touchdowns, right? And then obviously, boom, he comes to Minnesota, right? So I'm
Yeah.
going to take you to the past 10 years. The
Okay.
past 10 years of Super Bowl winning teams, okay?
Okay.
And I'm painting a picture here
Oh,
for
you
why we
painting
need
it.
to
Look,
why we need to re-sign Kirk Cousins.
Picasso. It's Picasso right now. You painting it crystal clear.
We got the Chiefs. You know what their offensive line rank was last year when they won? Fourth.
What was it?
Ranked fourth.
Thank you so much, baby. I'm gonna need these. You know I'm getting old.
The Rams, 7th offensive
Okay.
line rank.
Oh.
The Bucks ranked 5th with Tom Brady.
Okay.
You had
Okay.
the Chiefs were ranked 11th when they won it in 2020, but they had a
Okay.
top 5 offense and they had a top 5 defense.
Okay.
The Patriots, 4th, the Eagles 1st, the Patriots 10th, the Broncos 20th. But guess what? That was the year when your boy Peyton Manning couldn't throw the ball 15 yards and he was carried by the number 1 defense in the league. They were the number 1 defense in the league that year, which they were comparing the Broncos defense that year to the Seahawks. All of them had a top 10 offensive line. And if they didn't, they had a number 1 defense, which was the Seahawks and the Broncos. Okay. So now let's go to 2017, right? We're 2017 Minnesota Vikings. Okay. It's Minneapolis Miracle. We go pretty far in the playoffs. Bradford gets hurt. We bring in Case Keenum.
Right.
And you know what our offensive line rank was that year, 2017?
What was it?
14th. And we were 6th in sacks allowed, ranked 6th in sacks allowed. We were top 10 offense. And our defense that year was ranked number 1 in the league in 2017.
Okay.
So we made it to the NFC Championship game that year.
Okay.
All right. So now, right, end of all season, we've talked about it. We're like, all right, we need to bring in a quarterback. That's what we thought was the problem. We need to bring in a quarterback. We need somebody that can take us to the top, right?
Right.
All right, good. We signed Kirk Cousins.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
2018. You ready for Kirk Cousins in Minnesota? You ready?
Hey. That's what I paid.
So the offensive line rank, you know what it was in 2018?
What was it?
28th. 28th offensive line rank. Ninth in defense. The offense was ranked 20th. And I'm going to tell you why I was ranked 20th.
Okay.
You got a guy, Mike Zimmer, which in my personal opinion, I think Mike Zimmer, Kirk Cousins, and has all the drama we're getting of Kirk Cousins, anti-Kirk Cousins.
Right.
You know, stuff that's going on in Minnesota. I think Mike Zimmer is the cause of it. I really do. I think the culture kind of brought you back to Blair Walsh, Greg Joseph. We can go down the list. Mike Zimmer.
The culture that got us to the NFC Championship game. Okay. I got you. Go ahead.
2019. 25th in offensive line. 16th in offense, top 5 defense.
Okay.
2020, 23rd offensive line. 2021, 27th in offensive line. Okay. And now let me tell you. So 2017, Minneapolis Miracle, NFC Championship.
Right.
Pat Shermer led the Vikings that year, and we were top 5 in offense.
Okay.
Right, or top 10 offense.
Okay.
2018, your boy wearing the Jordans, wearing the J's on the sideline comes in. John DeFilippo.
DeFilippo,
comes in.
Right.
DeFilippo. 2018, 2019. Right. Oh, we're going to change coordinators. Kevin Stefanski comes in.
The one that got the head coaching job for the Browns.
Yep. Oh, hold on. It's 2020. Gary Kubiak's going to come in. Was Gary Kubiak? We had a good. 2020, we were top 5 in offense that year.
Okay.
Our offense was top 5 with Gary Kubiak. Well, Gary Kubiak leaves. So 2021, who you got? Clint Kubiak.
Okay.
You got Clint. Okay. So now, which brings me to my next point. You have the 2022 Minnesota Vikings. Okay.
Okay.
Talking about a team where we go all the way back to, let's go back to 1950, 1960, where fourth quarter comebacks. Let's talk about them. Fourth quarter comebacks. Let's talk about them. How many did your boy Kirk Cousins have last year?
He had a few. He had quite a few last year.
He had more than a few. How many did he have? 8. Kirk Cousins had 8.
There's a lot of games that we were like deep behind in that we shouldn't have been in that he came back in against, I think, the Colts and those type of teams. Yeah.
8 fourth quarter comebacks. He led the league that year, and he also tied the record since 1960 to 2022. He tied the record for 8 fourth quarter comebacks. That was Matthew Stafford in 2016. You can go back to Washington. He had
we're going to go back. We're going to go back.
He had fourth quarter comebacks. So right now, Kirk Cousins has 28 game-winning drives.
Right.
Game-winning drives, not including fourth quarter comebacks.
Okay.
And 22 fourth quarter comebacks. You have a guy who finally he's under a system, under a culture that I believe that's going to bring the Minnesota Vikings to the Super Bowl under Kevin O'Connell. Okay. And so I think that he's bringing the best out of Kirk Cousins. Like, I even went back in 2021. This was a year prior. Okay. There was, our record didn't show, right? Our team didn't show that year. But you go back and look, I read an article on the 2021 Minnesota Vikings. We were 3-3. We started out 3-3.
Okay.
And it laid out a whole article of Kirk Cousins' fourth quarter game winning moments to get us into field goal range. Boom, boom, boom. We had
Right,
fumbles,
right.
we had field goals,
Yeah,
and there was
everybody else's fault. Right, right, right.
he led
Yeah.
us seven times in those 6 games.
Mm,
In those six
mm,
games, we were 3-3. He led us
right.
7 times to a position to win the game, to put the game away.
Okay.
Okay, that was 2021. So
Okay.
my opinion of Kirk Cousins,
Uh-huh.
I think he's a comeback. He's a comeback kid.
Mm,
You're talking about a guy. You're talking about a guy that led the greatest NFL comeback in history.
okay.
All right, last year to
Okay.
the Indianapolis Colts, down by 33 points. Kirk
Okay.
Cousins didn't know after the game. He was stunned. He had to take a moment.
Right, right.
Also, you go back to Washington.
Mm,
He has set a franchise record for the
yep, for a
greatest
minute.
comeback. The greatest comeback, to your boy Jameis Winston, against your boy Jameis Winston.
Right.
They were down by 24 points. Kirk Cousins brought them back. It set a franchise record. Kind of going back to the win now situation, we won a Super Bowl. We won a Super Bowl. And as I glance at the Minnesota Vikings just from when we signed Kirk to right now,
Right.
I can't go and point the finger and be like, oh, Kirk Cousins can't win us games. He led 8 fourth quarter comebacks last year.
Yeah, you can't do that. Can't.
I can't say he can't bring us back when we're down. I can't say he can't have a game winning drive because he's had them. So I think that O'Connell has brought out the best. I say it time and time again in Kirk Cousins.
I agree.
And I feel like he needs to get his flowers, man. He hasn't got his flowers. The quarterback Netflix documentary helped his case a little bit.
Right,
He's
right.
playing the best ball of his career, and boom, wipes out an Achilles. But
Gotcha.
my belief is, okay,
Okay.
what I shared with you all the top 10 Super Bowl teams, right?
Yeah, you did. These are Super Bowl winners.
Super Bowl winners, yeah, Super Bowl winners, yep, Super Bowl winners.
Okay,
correct.
so not just all the teams that went, like the Bengals, who had one of the worst offensive line in history when they went to the Super Bowl. We're not
right.
just
no,
the winners.
not even talk about that. Just the winners.
Okay. All right.
Okay, I want to win.
Okay.
All right, so
okay.
And so you go back to the 2022 team. Our defense was ranked 31st in yards allowed. Okay. And yards allowed 31st. So that's what, in my opinion, what has given up even when we played the Giants. Do I think we were outcoached? Yes, but the Giants game, we given up 440 yards offense to the bum Giants, with Daniel Jones running the ball over us. It was pathetic.
Okay.
And so my thing is, man, I think that Kirk Cousins can lead this Vikings team. And this is what is so irritating to me, man. This year, that Minnesota under Brian Flores is playing at a top 5 level.
Right.
Okay. Our offense was top 5 before Kirk went out, and our offensive line was top 3. Teams that with those particular stats have an 85% chance to win the Super Bowl.
Okay.
So, I think this it's hard to look at, but if we can keep Flores and Kirk Cousins will take a pay cut, we need to re-sign Kirk Cousins for 2 years. Let's go.
Yeah, some great points, man. So let me go and put these on real quick.
What you putting on? Some glasses?
I put them glasses on. I just
yeah.
want to make sure, because you went over your notes. I want to make sure I can read all my notes very, very clear. So yeah, I'm putting the passion notes on tonight. Okay. So I have some notes for you, for your quarterback that you said we need on the Minnesota Vikings to win a Super Bowl. And you said it's a win now. We're in a win now mode. You only have a certain time frame to win a Super Bowl. Okay.
Right.
So this is the first stat I want to bring up. You kind of emphasized Mike Zimmer, the whole culture, and it was holding Cousins back to be one of the, to be what all he could be. Cousins had a better statistical year in 2021 with Zimmer. But even with him having one of his best years in that 2021, he was eliminated from the playoff week 17 against the Green Bay Packers. And that was the year before 2021, 2020, he didn't make the playoffs either. So those are 2 years that you just gave me QBRs and yards and TDs. He was eliminated from the playoff and did not make it that year, even though he had better stats that year than he did on the magical 2022 season. I have the stats since he's been a Minnesota Viking. So we'll start with 2018. His record was 8-7-1. He missed the playoffs. 2019, 10-6 NFC wild card. He won, lost the divisional round after to the 49ers 10-27. 10 points to 27.
Yep.
Okay. Just want to make sure I was reading this correctly. So we have that 2020, 7-9 record, missed the playoffs. 2021, 8-9 record, missed the playoffs. Okay. So we got those numbers out the way. Obviously, we were talking about numbers. We got those out the way. So Cousins has been with the Minnesota Vikings since 2018. Cousins' career record since he's been a quarterback in the NFL is 78, 70, and 2. His playoff record is 1-4. Okay. Before Minnesota, he was 4-7 in primetime games. After being with Minnesota, and after that big year, that 2022 year you were just discussing, 12-20. Okay. He's 8-8 at home. I'm a little confused how you're saying this is a win now, and he's gonna get us to the Super Bowl based on these stats. He ain't gonna get nobody to no damn Super Bowl based on the stats I'm looking at. But no, I'm not done with you. I'm not done with you because you got everything you need to get out. So that Zimmer strict, couldn't get anything done. Head coach got this journeyman Case Keenum. Case Keenum put up over 3,500 yards, 22 TDs, and 7 picks. Your quarterback last year with Kevin O'Connell didn't even have as good a stats as that. Okay. So let's stop. You giving me QBR and the top 10 in yards. None of that matters based on these numbers. Based on these numbers I'm looking at, 70, 78, 70, and 2. None of that matters, bro. Funny you brought up the Washington Commanders, whatever they were called back then is what they were called. Sean McVay, Kevin O'Connell. He still couldn't get the job done. To a point. Let me finish. To a point where Washington, no matter what you want to say about them, no NFL franchise is letting their quarterback go in free agency. Name one team that's let their franchise in their prime quarterback go in free agency, or lets their quarterback go, period. Deshaun Watson, because of his off-field issues, is the only one. They knew he wasn't him, bro. He's never been him. And I always would say that based on what I'm seeing, but it's based on the numbers. He's not him. He's not him. So look, no, I'm not done. You were talking about, the defense, he just had, he didn't have the defense behind him. That 2018 defense, actually, based on the ESPN and NFL stats I looked at, had the same exact Pro Bowl players on that team. Eric Kendrick was on that team. Harrison Smith was on that team. Younger Danielle Hunter. That defense was ranked 4th in total defense for points allowed. Your team missed the playoffs. Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen were on the outside where your receivers as well. Your team missed the playoffs with a defense that was 4th. A top 5 ranked defense when it came to points allowed. Not done. 2019, they were 6th in points allowed and was ranked number 3 by US Today. 2020, they were ranked 27th.
Yeah.
So I give you that. 2020, they were bad, and we missed the playoffs. So basically, what you're telling me is he needs a defense around him for him to do what he needs to do. He's had top 10 defenses twice. And ironically, those years he had the top defenses, he missed the playoffs. So let's stop with it's it's this thing of like, I'm not letting go, and oh, if this one thing goes good, then it would be different. But let me give you these stats, because you're saying how this season, like this season it was special and this was going to be the year. So let's just go ahead and let's talk about that really, really quick, because I actually wrote down some stats about that as well. So he got hurt week 8 against the Green Bay Packers, right? So before he was hurt, they were 4-4. So all this, he was having the best stats, and this was going to be the special season because last year, it was a lot of one close games. He was 4-4 so far this season, and we don't know what's going to happen. The only game I will give you is the San Francisco 49ers. But we're not going to talk about how they barely beat the Carolina Panthers. Carolina Panthers they would have been drafting first overall in the NFL draft. Come on, man. Come on, Zach. Since he's been gone, we are 2-2 without him. His stats this year, his stats where he was super duper good and he was lighting it up. He had over 2,300 yards. He had 18 TDs, but he had 5 interceptions. He had
That's
5
good.
interceptions. Okay. I hope they bring Cousins back. I hope they bring Cousins back. I hope they give him 2 years, because I just want to hear. I want to hear what we're lacking in other departments for excuses why we're not winning a Super Bowl with them. Funny thing is, you keep talking about this win now window. Kirk Cousins got Zimmer fired. He got Spillman fired because they were in a win now window, and they had Case Keenum, who put up that season. He put up stats that are pretty comparable to your boys, and he would have been a lot cheaper, and they wanted to keep him. But because they went with Cousins, the franchise, just good enough quarterback, he didn't get the job done in over 5 years. Over 5 years, he hasn't got the job done. So don't give me the, oh, well, he did really good this year, but the defense was kind of off this year, but the next year the defense was better, but the O-line was a little shaky. But the next year, the offensive weapons were a little weird. This man he's had year of opportunities to win Super Bowls, to a point where we really risked like the draft picks and really building the defense to go in his direction for us to miss the playoffs the very next year after winning the NFC Championship game. Stop. It's not happening. It's not happening. He's a good guy. He's drinking cookies and milk with his kids at 8:00. He's got the kids, staying up a little bit later than 7:30. He's a good guy, but he's not the guy, bro. He's never been the guy. He will never be the guy. And if you want to sit here and tell me he needs all these things to succeed, bro, there's 31 other quarterbacks that would die to have all those things too. But guess what? This is the NFL. We're not Alabama going against Kansas, or going against Polytech. It's never going to be perfect. It's never going to be perfect, and it will never be perfect. If this man needs all of that 10 years in the league, he's shown you who he is and who he'll be, bro. It's not going to happen. Can I name you a quarterback that in a 10-year career can do a little bit better than 70? What was the stat? The career stat? 78, 70, and 2? He's a middle tier winning quarterback, bro. You keep giving me these quarterback completion stats. The stat I care about, and last time I checked, what you care about is winning football games, right? And making it to a Super Bowl. But you keep preaching Super Bowl, but we never got out of the wild card, which is a little weird to me. You saying Super Bowl window, Super Bowl. I just want to go to the NFC Championship game. You can win a Super Bowl with Cousins, but it will never be because of Cousins that you win a Super Bowl. And what I mean by that is he has to have everything good around him, and he'll be a member of why you win it. But when hell comes to fire, can he be the guy when the offensive line's not perfect, when the defense is tired, when a receiver's out? Can he be that leader and that guy we keep talking about, oh, well, you can't find a Patrick Mahomes. You can't, but you can find a quarterback that's not by himself, talking to a tablet compared to a guy like Patrick Mahomes' energy, clapping the special teams around, like clapping each other on special teams, like going out there, like rooting for the defense, like that has guys that want to play for him. You can find that, and you can't tell me you can't find that for over 35 million, bro. You're saying like it's the end of the world if Cousins leaves, but Cousins ain't done nothing since he's been here. So what Super Bowl are we winning when it's been over 5 years and we ain't even got out the first round of the playoffs? What Super Bowl are we winning? What Super Bowl are we winning?
Like I said, I think that bro, I think the offensive line is a problem. Was a
All right, Zach.
problem. The
All right, Zach.
2018, brother, 2018 to 2021,
So
it was a
my
problem. It was
question
a
to you
problem.
are: do you not think there are NFL
I showed you the
teams?
stats, bro,
I
for the
know
past.
you showed me the stats of teams who won the Super Bowl. Show me the
Yeah.
stats. Show me the stats of teams that have gotten past the wild card game. Show me them stats. Show me those. We like this is the thing. You want to get here. You want to get here, but
Yeah.
homeboy ain't even get past here yet. So we're looking at stats of Super Bowl winners, but we haven't got past the wild cards. So show me teams that have won playoff games that haven't had top five offensive lines. The Bengals were just in the Super Bowl with a trash offensive line. Trash.
Yes.
They replaced what, three or
Yes.
four of the starters the next year?
Yeah, but that's one team, man. That's one team. That's Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's
Okay.
a he's going to be a future Hall of Famer. Joe
Zach, I
Burrow.
gave you 5
It's a
years.
pocket passer,
Zach,
bro. It's a pocket passer.
Zach, I gave you over 10 years of stats. I gave you we talking stats tonight. We talking
But
stats tonight.
I think that the super to win a Super Bowl, it's a team sport, bro. It's a team stat. It's got to be a team stat. And
Okay.
all that I showed you that they have to line up. They
this is my
have to
question
line
to you.
up.
This is my question to you. How can you win a playoff game? Let's stop talking about the Super Bowl. How can your quarterback what can your quarterback do to win a playoff game? Because he's done it once. He's done it once
I
out of five
yeah.
times. So how can he win a playoff game since we talking about what we need to do because he's only done it once.
I think when you get the playoffs, obviously anything can happen. Anything can happen. It's a team, though, man. There's been bum teams. There's been bum teams win a
That
playoff game, then they lose the next game. So winning a playoff game is cool. We want to win a playoff game. We went to the NC Championship with Zimmer,
hold on, what's that say?
1-4. Do you think? All right, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Why is it? Why don't you like Kirk? What is it about Kirk Cousins? You've watched him play, bro.
Zach, I just read this.
Okay, I
I
understand
gave
the
you the
record.
stats. I gave you
I
the
just told
stats.
you.
I gave you
I
the
told
stats.
you the stats that the offensive line has to be good. We saw it 28, 29. Those years
The
you tell under
offensive
Zimmer
line has to be good to do what? To do what?
to win a Super Bowl.
Your quarterback can't win a playoff game, Zach. Why are we talking about the Super Bowl?
Man, I think it's one of those things that
Do me this favor. Do me this favor. Go do your homework. Give me every single team that wins at least one playoff game. Give me all the offensive line rankings. And I swear to you, if they are not top five, we're not having this conversation again. Every single team that's won at least one playoff game, give me their offensive line rankings from the NFC to the AFC. And I need it for the past 5 years. 5 years, 5 playoff years. If all those aren't in the top five in offensive line, I don't want to hear
all
another
right.
word about this.
So let me ask you: if we did re-sign Kirk Cousins and we do make a deep playoff run, say he gets us to the NFC Championship, are you off Kirk Cousins back from that
Bro,
point on?
you're saying say we do this and we make a deep playoff run. We haven't made a deep playoff run in 6 years.
I
It's
understand, but
done, bro. It
I
is.
think that Zimmer destroyed the whole Kirk Cousins experiment. Is Mike Zimmer?
We got further with Zimmer and a journeyman quarterback than we did with the quarterback that got him
Yeah,
fired.
but bro, I showed you that 2017 team was everything was smooth with that team, man. I'm telling you, it's just the whole team was playing good. And what ended up happening?
You gonna make
Case
me drink.
Keenum showed his true colors, bro. He showed his true colors, and we got beat 38-7.
We got
It
beat
showed
38. Hold on, we got beat 38-7. Where?
the NFC
Where?
Championship. Doesn't
Okay.
matter. It don't even
Okay.
matter. If
Okay.
you get blown out 38-7,
Okay.
I don't even want to go.
I'm happy you said that because guess what? You didn't go the next year with your boy. I'm happy you got comfortable at home. Which you hit Malibu? Which you hit? You hit Malibu, didn't you? Because y'all was out right away. You know what?
Well, I think
Hey, you know what?
it's so interesting. It's interesting because we do have complete opposite takes on
Oh
Kirk
my
Cousins,
gosh,
which makes it
bro.
exciting.
It's
The
like,
offseason is going to be wild. I can't wait for the offseason.
to me,
I
it's
think Kirk
like,
Cousins getting injured is insane.
to me, it's like, if you have like somebody's going to show you who they are. It's been over 10 years, 78,
All right.
70-2, and you can't tell me all of these different teams in his past 10-year career he hasn't won more than one playoff game. You can't give me them excuses for over 10 years of NFL franchise teams. You can't
Look,
do that, Zach.
I'm going to tell you. Dan Marino, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time.
All right, Zach. All right.
He's been to the AFC Championship one time in his whole career.
So hold on,
one time. That was I think his first. I think his second year.
You're comparing Dan Marino to Kirk Cousins.
I'm comparing. No. What I'm saying is that it takes a team. Like Dan Marino is one of the top 5 quarterbacks of all time. It's not even debatable.
All right. So,
but and that's it. That's what I'm saying. It takes a whole team. Like
in the span of over 10 years, and all of those teams, he's won one playoff game. So you're giving me the excuse that he hasn't had a team around him for the span of 10 years that was good enough to win more than one wild card game. Think about all the Viking teams.
All right.
Sean McVay, Kevin O'Connell. He is only good for one playoff game in a 10-year career. A wild card game at that? Get the hell off my computer screen. Get off my computer screen. He had prime Eric Kendricks, Anthony Barr, Harrison Smith, Danielle Hunter, Stephon Diggs, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, and one wild card win? Stop. Dalvin Cook, stop. You're nuts. I do want to do a shout out. We've been doing a lot of, live streams and kind of, interacting with the Viking community, and it's been dope, just JJ, Yogi's been showing us love, and a lot of the Viking community's been showing us love. When me and Zach first started this, we talked about the Vikings every single Sunday on the phone, and Zach's always like, we should do a podcast. And to now get it to a point where we're doing it, and there's so many like-minded people out there, it's really dope and it's really cool. So we just want to, tell everybody thank you in the Vikings community for accepting us and, open arms and showing us love. So I just want to put that out there too.
Yeah, we're grateful.
Absolutely. So go do your homework, and that's it for today, man. We'll keep it short and sweet. Minnesota, get it done against the Raiders, and I think that's it, my boy.
That's it. We out, baby.
Go!